With us this morning here on KUPL, we have filmmaker Gary Mortensen. Gary, thanks for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me.
And also Sergeant Major Jerry Glesmann.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Gary, your first film of this sort was This Is War, about an Oregon platoon in the Second Battle of Fallujah in Iraq. And you have a brand new film out, which I've seen just clips of it. It's called Shepherds of Helmand. This looks like it's going to be just an amazing movie. It's a very powerful documentary about the deployment of a small unit of Oregon soldiers in a very difficult area of Afghanistan. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct. You know, the thing is that there are deployments out there every single day that no one ever hears about. There's heroics that are taking place every single day that no one hears about. And I had the opportunity to tell this story. The more I heard about it, the more I interviewed the soldiers, the more I felt compelled that this is absolutely a story that needs to be heard.
Now, some of this filming that was taking place, I mean, you guys were in some pretty scary situations. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, the uniqueness of the film now compared to historically is that it's the digital age, and all these soldiers now have their own digital recording devices that they can take with them. And so what we're getting really for the first time in these last 10 years is this incredible imagery that's authentic and real, and it's taken from the perspective of the soldiers who were fighting, not some Signal Corps guy, not some news person, but actually the soldiers. And what they find interesting, in my opinion, is really what's interesting over there.
The gist of this movie is basically you guys are assigned to go over there and help train these Afghanistani people to fight against the Taliban.
Correct.
But you guys walk in there and these guys are like going, hey, wait a second, we've been fighting for years. Who do you guys think you are coming in? And so what did you guys teach them about war?
Well, the officer crew that we got was very battle hard. However, the about 700 plus soldiers were really, really young. So those were the individuals that we focused on.
Well, this is going to be an incredible movie, which is premiering Thursday night here in Portland. And Sergeant Major Jerry Glesmann, we want to talk some more. You were actually there.
Yeah, in it.
In it. Not just the movie, but the war, Afghanistan. And we want to talk more with you about some of your personal experiences and these other incredible men and women. Most decorated in Oregon National Guard history. And we'll do that coming up here on KUPL.
If you're a big football fan getting ready for the big game, you might have asked yourself,
New Country 98.7 KUPL. Simon in the morning, Scott, Jolyn, and Jake at 7:51 now. This is a special moment for us this morning, talking about a movie that is going to be premiering here in Portland Thursday night. We'll talk more of the details on that. Matter of fact, it's also on DVD available, and we're going to give some of these away. But incredible story, talking about some of the most decorated soldiers in Oregon National Guard history. All right. And with us this morning, Sergeant Major Jerry Glesmann, and also the director of this film, Gary Mortensen. And Gary, let me start back off with you. What was it about this mission that really made it stand out?
The interesting thing about this particular deployment, it's a 17-man all-volunteer unit that decides they want to go over and make a difference. They had no idea what the mission was going to be. But they end up in this area, in part of the Helmand province, being referred to as the Fallujah of Afghanistan. It is one of the most intense areas in the entire nation. And it's where all the poppy's produced, and it's just a hotbed for Taliban. And these guys, this little 17-man unit with their Afghans, end up in the heart of Taliban country way before 20,000 Marines were shipped in. So these guys it's kind of like out, it's Gunga Din. They're out in the middle of this land that has probably changed little in 2,000 years, and they're out in the middle of it. And Jerry's very modest, but one of the things that is true is that this little 17-man unit came back as one of the most decorated units in Oregon National Guard history. So we've got a real hero here with us today.
So did you, were you shot at all, or?
No, I was, our last mission out down in Lashkaga. My vehicle was blowing up. Got some shrapnel in my right elbow. So it was an explosion that, 9 feet by 10 feet by about 4.5 feet deep is the crater that left the vehicle, and it pretty much destroyed our vehicle.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jerry, but remembering a couple of the clips that I saw of the movie, was it you or was it someone else that said, I killed my first man today?
Yeah, that was Captain Paul Dyer.
Okay. Yeah, that was a moving moment in the film, certainly.
Not many people talk about that. And so it is a time in your life that you question yourself, but then you got to look at the whole picture and realize what you're doing over there.
This isn't like a John Wayne war movie.
No, it's really not. It's straight from the heart. It's actual footage, and Hollywood can spruce things up a little bit and make things seem a little bit easier.
Gary, there is a screening, a premiere screening coming up at the Hollywood Theater.
This screening, so is going to take place, you're right, on Thursday, on the 3rd at 7 p.m. and tickets are $5. All the sales of both the DVD and the tickets will be going to HAVA, which is Honored American Veterans of Field.
The documentary is called Shepherds of Helmand, and we're talking with director Gary Mortensen and Sergeant Major Jerry Glesmann. And you got some star power in this as well with the help of Zach Brown Band and Donald Trump Jr.
Well, our good friends at Benchmade, and this film wasn't possible without the support of Benchmade. They said, "Hey, you guys interested in Zach Brown?"
Yeah.
That may be the fastest yes I've ever said, but yeah, and Zach has been a huge supporter of the troops, and they were very generous in offering up some songs and working with us, as was Donald Trump Jr.
Did he tell you were fired afterwards?
He didn't say it, but I could see it in his eyes a little bit.
Well, Sergeant Major Jerry Glesmann, number one, thank you for your service.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for having us here today.
And we appreciate you being here. And Gary, wonderful thing you're doing with this movie, Shepherds of Helmand.
It's a privilege to tell their story.
All right. Gary, thank you. Jerry, thank you.